Hi, I'm Dennis Parsons. I'm very sorry that I'm unable to be present at Ron's memorial service today, but very grateful that I was able to do this video to talk about what Ron meant to me. I first got to know Ron when he started attending their church, the United Church of Christ of Fredericksburg, where I was serving as moderator of the congregation. Ron and Norma showed up on a Sunday morning, like many people do, and almost from the very beginning, my wife Linda and I felt a kinship to Ron and Norma. They were the type of people that we enjoyed being around. But there was Ron, who was the pastor, Norma, a retired educator. My wife and I are both retired educators. So we just normally were able to build a friendship fairly quickly. As the moderator, after he started coming to church, he volunteered to help in any way that he could on days that we had an issue with anything that might be needed. He said just let him know if it was something that he could help with. And oftentimes when Reverend Doug was not available to serve in some capacity, I would ask Ron. And Ron always would be agreeable to do whatever he could. So oftentimes I would call him. But I really got to know Ron in a different light when he asked me to be his real estate agent. I had just retired from a 30-some-year career in education and had decided I wanted to be a real estate agent. So I had just finished up my classes, and so one day Ron says to me, Norma and I are planning to buy a house in the Fredericksburg area. We're not in a big hurry, so if you would like, we'd like for you to be a real estate agent, and you can use us as guinea pigs. And I thought, wow. I didn't know where I was going to get my first client from, but lo and behold, they said they were willing to be my guinea pigs, and guess what? I allowed them to be that. Well, that started out a great friendship. We looked all around Fredericksburg to find the perfect house for them, looked at many different houses, many different styles, but we were not finding the one that met their needs. I just happened to mention to them, I know of a house that is going to come on the market. I was told that they had a real estate agent, but that had been like from a year ago, and it still hadn't gone on the market, but I was quite sure that it was going to, since I knew the person who lived there was a member of our church and had died, and the sons who lived outside of the area were going to be taking care of the house. So I told Ron and Norma, I said, let's go over and look at the outside of this house. If there's something that interests you, I'll call them and talk to them about selling it and what the price is going to be and so forth. So they said, okay. They looked and they both loved the house. But for the immediate time we pulled in the driveway, they said, yes, this looks like some place that we'd want to be. So I called up the son, and the son said, yeah, we have an agent, but we just haven't been able to come to terms, haven't decided what to do yet, but we're very interested in selling it. So if you have somebody that's interested, we'd be very pleased to talk to you. And I said, okay, how much do you want for the house? He said, well, I really don't know. And well, I was a new agent, but I thought, well, I don't think this is the way this is supposed to work. You're supposed to, as the buyer's agent, I should at least have an idea of what they want for the house. But no, he's not going to do that. But he said, I will call you and call the agent and get you into the house. So we went into the house, and this house had not been touched in the year since the previous owner had died. I mean, cereal boxes were on the counter. Everything was the same as it was the day the person died. But Ron and Norma saw the house and said, we really like this house. So I went back and we negotiated, and Ron said, you know, I've never really owned a house myself. As a pastor, I've always lived in the parsonage, so I'd be interested in the stuff in the house. So if they want to sell some of that, we'd take that as well. Well, to make a long story short, that's what we did. We negotiated and ended up buying the house with all the contents, including all of the junk that was in the house. So Ron and Norma were willing to take that on. but it turned out to be the perfect house for them. And it also turned out to be the perfect way for Ron and Norma and my wife Linda and I to get to know each other in a much different capacity. We became quick friends, socializing together. As you can imagine, Ron loved to eat. I loved to eat. So a lot of our functions evolved around food, whether it was going out to eat or eating at each other's houses or whatever. But on a much different level, we became to know Ron as the kind, compassionate, intelligent person that he was. We also had a love of sports. I being a Virginia Tech graduate, him being a Michigan fan, we would often talk sports and football in particular, but it could be football, it could be baseball, whatever. But we just enjoyed being around each other. We'd also get together with other friends from the church on small group activities and just have a good time. Ron always made you feel good about the situation. He had a way of taking complex, difficult situations and boiling them down to situations that were not as overwhelming as you might think. We also had a great interest in politics, local, state, national. And sometimes my wife and I would get discouraged about the situation that we thought our country was in. And Ron would always have a way of bringing us back to reality and saying, oh, it's things evolve. And I know my wife in particular was very touched by the way Ron explained situations and helped her to see that sometimes things may not appear as they are, and as time goes along, they get better. So that became a part of our time together, was just living and discussing life, politics, and so forth. But then Ron was diagnosed with cancer. And as you can imagine, all of us that knew him were very fearful of the outcome. We knew it was serious, and we knew that probably he was not going to be with us that long. But he lived life to the fullest after his diagnosis. He did not allow that to bring him down. I'm sure in his private moments he had lots of reflections and lots of fear, but he never showed that to the outside world. All we saw was this calm, very cerebral process going through with him of, okay, here's what I've been dealt with, here's what I can do about it, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make the time I have left valuable. And I was always amazed how he would have some procedure on a Friday, but be in church on Sunday with that smile and letting us know that it's going to be okay. Even at the end of his life, while he was in the hospital, or the times I'd go visit in the hospital, I always left there feeling pretty good about Ron's situation. And he would come back even stronger. Right up until the last time I saw him, I was feeling like he's making some progress. I knew his time wasn't going to be long before he was going to depart us, but he never made you feel like he was in fear. He just always looked at the brighter side. I will always be grateful for the time I was able to spend with Ron Vantabunty and spend time with those that he loved and see how they loved him. And I am very thankful that I had the opportunity to know Ron. To the family, I'm sorry that we're not able to be there to join you today in your celebration of Ron's life, because it really should be a celebration. but know that our heart and our mind is with you today. And God bless you all.